Peace reflection. I'm Fairy. I'll wait a little bit before some people can come in. Peace reflection. I see people entering the room. Oh, thanks for the love. Okay, well, I'm gonna get started. This is my first video since being in nature by myself, and I was nervous to do this. I was nervous to come to my reflection and open up and talk, but then I realized, why am I scared? Why am I nervous? I did what I had to do to get out. You know, I let go of everything. My family, my job, everything that I knew, just so I can get out of Babylon, come back to nature, heal myself, so that I can heal you, my lower self, and lift you up. So, what I want to talk about today is, when I was in Babylon, I was the cancer. Like, literally, the cancer. And first, like, I want to start with my career. Like, I used to be in the healthcare industry. And guess what specialty that I worked in? It was oncology, cancer. And I did that for several years, and that became like my main specialty. And I knew that it was wrong. Chemotherapy was wrong, because when I got into oncology, I was a vegan and I was health conscious. And I would go around telling people not to eat meat, you need to live a certain way, and, you know, don't take these pharmaceutical drugs. But at the same time, I was working in the system. And the way that I justified it was that, well, everybody's different. You know, I can't judge a person for what they do. But at the same time, that's my reflection. Like, everybody is a reflection of me. So for me to say, I don't care what others do, that's like me saying, I don't care what I did. And so it got to a point where it did weigh on my conscience, but I didn't stop because of money. And in my career, my last job that I was in when I was in Babylon, I was making over $60,000 a year. I had no debt. You know, whatever money I made, I kept. So I was living good. And so anybody want to put poison in their body, that's on them, but they better give me my paycheck. And that's how I looked at it. But then I received the truth. And I realized that, yeah, I had a comfortable job. I had a nice apartment. I had a nice car. I had money. But then I realized, hold up. The bank, you know, regulates my job. The bank regulates my money. The bank regulates how I live in my apartment. The bank controls the food that I eat. And I'm like, what part do I play in this? Like, I don't control anything. But then I realized that I was the fuel, because I gave my energy to the system. So even though I did not take the poison and the chemotherapy or take those drugs, I was fueling it so that they can give it to the weak. Because they didn't have any other option. They were scared, they were sick. And so they believed that these drugs would cure them, even though I knew that it wouldn't. But it didn't stop me from doing what I wanted to do. And so, because karma is real, my health started changing. And I went to the doctor for like a physical. This is where all of this starts to play out, to where my life started crumbling because of me not taking responsibility and me not living the truth. Because you can sit here all day and say that you live the truth, you know what the truth is, you know what to eat, you know Babylon is wrong, but if you still in Babylon, if you still following the system, what does it matter? It doesn't matter anything that you know the truth, and that you know the laws, if you're not going to live by them. So one day I went to the doctor to get a physical, and I knew I was healthy because I ate right. Well, at the time I wasn't eating right, like, because let me go back, because when I got the new job when I moved to Atlanta, at the time I was vegan, but then being in the system and being amongst all of that, I started eating meat again and I started drinking again. So I really wasn't as healthy as I was playing in my mind out to be. And so I went to the doctor and I got a physical, and I was like, well, I know the physical, I know it's going to be good because I'm healthy, you know, I'm health conscious, I eat a lot of fruit. My test results came back, and the doctor told me that I was anemic, that I had a thyroid issue, I was vitamin D deficient, and I had a fungus living in me. And it got to the point where the fungus was so bad, you could literally smell it coming out of me. And my whole world just crumbled. And I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, damn. Like, what am I going to do? So I went to the doctor, and they wanted to give me drugs. And like I said, I already knew that wasn't the way. So I started changing my diet, and it wasn't enough. Just changing my diet wasn't enough because I realized that my environment was toxic. And the first thing was toxic was my mind. And I had to clean my mind. And I didn't know how to do that. Like, I just thought if I eat a certain way and I be a certain way, everything would be all good. But it was all in my mind. All of that was in my mind. So I decided to go the natural way. I went to the naturopaths because, hey, they're the naturopaths. They should know how to help me naturally. Well, they ended up trying to give me drugs. And so I just became helpless. And I felt like those patients in the chemotherapy, helpless with no way out. And excuse my tears, like, I continue to get better and better with expressing myself, but sometimes, like, the emotions come out, but I know it's alright. And so I decided to go on YouTube, and then the doctor diagnosed me as being autoimmune. So that let me know, just by knowing about health, they didn't know what the fuck was wrong with me, because they couldn't help me. So it was just like, oh, you autoimmune, this is just something you have to deal with. Your body and your immune system and your organs, they don't work well together. You don't have harmony in your body. So this is something you have to deal with. And so what they told me was that I have to eat meat. They was like, the only thing you can eat to cure yourself is meat and some vegetables. Well, I knew just by the knowledge that I had and the truth that fruit was what I needed. But when you have everybody around you telling you, no, fruit is the reason why you're sick. What? Fruit is the reason why I'm sick. It's the reason why I have fungus. It's the reason why I'm deficient. It was because of fruit. I was like, that is crazy. But then they were making me feel like I was crazy. And so then I just started just breaking down, shutting down, and I didn't know what to do. So then I went on YouTube and I just started researching. And I started seeing like these different gurus. And one of the people that I followed was Dr. Sebi. And I tried to do Dr. Sebi's diet for several years now, but I always failed because I was hungry. Like, he told you, don't eat this, don't eat that, this is hybrid, this is natural, don't eat this have a seed, don't have a seed, but I might have a seed, but it ain't come from the natural seed. And I'm like, what? What can I eat? And so I always failed, but he most definitely promoted them products. Like, take this herb. This herb will heal you of your iron deficiency and your vitamin D. And like a dumbass, I ended up buying one of his products. And it did not work. It actually gave me diarrhea. Yeah, that's TMI, but I'm just keeping it real. It made me more sick to the point I couldn't even take his medicine. But then I realized something about these gurus. And I don't care if they're black or white, they all have a European mind. And what I found with Dr. Sebi, Dr. Africa, and there's these two white Europeans I used to follow, Dan the Man, Mark Rothkrantz, like a ton of them, that no matter the color of their skin, They all were within the system. And the system was, let's take from mama, which is nature, get these herbs, dry them up, make them a pill, and then sell you hope. Like hope that you will get cured. But you got to have this special diet, take these special pills, drink this special water, and you will be healed. But then truth came to me, and it was like, okay, well, if you're telling me to eat certain foods, and you're telling me to take certain herbs and drink certain water that comes from nature, well, why don't you just go to nature? But none of them told me that. None of them told any of us that, because you know why? Because they could not sell you that. They can't sell you what is natural. They can't sell you what is not to be sold. Nature is not to be sold, but what they did, they found a way around it and picked the plant, dishonored the plant, dishonored mother, and then come to us and we buy it. And then we wonder why we're sick. Then I wonder why I'm sick. And so it just got to the point where I no longer could live a lie. And I realized that Dr. Sebi and all of these people, they had a good intent, but because they're in their lower self, they fell victim to money, to mammon. So I realized I had to be an example. And when I found Nature Boy TV, like he activated my cells. He made me realize what it meant to say I love myself, like all of my cells. And I'm a unit of cells moving together. And it was just like a revelation came to me. And I felt bamboozled. I did feel like, damn, I thought I was smarter than that. But you know what? I am smarter than that, because when I heard the message and I heard the truth from Nature Boy and from Mama and from the sun, I got the fuck out. It was just that simple for me. I got out. And so now I'm here healing myself so that I can heal you. And I feel like I'm only talking to 3 people. That was the number that came to me, was 3. 3 people. If I could heal 3 people, if I can penetrate your cells, penetrate your cells and activate them, and you hear my voice, and you resonate with me, and you get out, that's all I need. That's nirvana for me. You know, and it's time for me to take responsibility, and that's why I got out. That's why I left. Like, I left all that I know, but I'm still here. Like, if any of my family, my Babylon family is watching, I didn't leave you or abandon you. I left so I could be an example for you. Like, I can't live a certain way in Babylon telling you what you need to do, and I'm right there in the middle of it with you, eating meat, you know, looking a certain way, just so I can fit in. Like, I don't know if you can see my hair. It's slowly locking, but when I was in Babylon, I would have never done that, because I cared about what people thought of me. And if that's the thing that's stopping you from doing what you have to do to get out, don't worry about what people are going to say about you, because I got to the point where I can't be in this box that people want me to be in. I can't. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all, and I'm tired of trying to appear to be perfect. You know, I'm human. And right now I'm sitting here in my clothes. And my clothes is my skin, and I'm so comfortable. I'm so comfortable coming to you, talking to you, to my reflection, to myself, as myself, because all it is myself. And I'm done. I'm done trying to be something that I'm not. I am nature. I am everything. I'm done serving my lower self. And if you're listening, if you hear me, now is the time to do what you have to do don't plan, just prepare to get out. And like I said, I'm talking to 3 people. Just prepare. Just prepare. It starts in your mind. Nature starts in your mind. The truth starts in your mind. Don't worry about what nobody say. Don't worry about if anybody call you crazy. Because it starts here. That's how I got out. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I trusted my intuition, and I followed the truth, and the doors just opened up for me. But I'm glad I was able to get on camera this morning and come to you and just express myself. And there's so much more inside of me, and I continue to get activated. And I see y'all commenting, but I'm really just focused on speaking right now. You know, I see everybody in here, and I appreciate the love, you know. But I really just wanted to come on here and open up, share, and there's one more thing that I need to take responsibility on. And I've never told anybody this. Only maybe 2 people know. But I know why my health deteriorated. Fast. Almost a year ago. And next month will be a year. I had got pregnant. And in my lower self, because I cared what people thought of me, I had to keep up with this image. I didn't know who I was. I aborted the baby. And the baby was produced in my lower self, definitely, because I didn't know the guy. We were drunk, and it happened. And I decided to get rid of it. I didn't want to take responsibility for who I was at that time. And I realized, being in nature and realizing that the black woman is God, I destroyed probably the purest part of me. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, it doesn't even matter. But I destroyed the purest part of me because I was scared. Who knows what that child would have done for my life, or I would have done for that child's life. But I was ashamed. And I know karma is real, and I know that I'm going to have to pay for my mistakes, but it serves me well. It serves me well. I'll take responsibility for that. And that's why I'm sitting here right now, taking responsibility for my life, because it stops here. I ain't doing it for nobody else. I'm doing it for that unborn child. And I wanted to share that because I know there's somebody out here that had to make that choice, that fucked up choice. And I wanted to share that with you, that it's okay. Take responsibility. But just know that it's okay, and you can always, and today is the day. There ain't no tomorrow. Fuck yesterday. Today is today to be the change. So I want to end the video on that. I love myself. And